What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk Packers. We got an awesome show lined up for you guys and gals on this glorious Saturday evening, July 26th. We got open camp practice tomorrow. We'll be going live during that practice. Really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. On tap for tonight, we're going to be talking about a new running back that was just signed by the Packers. We'll give you the entire breakdown on him. We got a cornerback that was signed and added to the camp roster. We'll give you a breakdown on that. We'll give you a Christian Watson update and kind of how we see that injury. We've also got a little Evan Williams talk for you as he goes into year two, looking to build off what he did in that awesome rookie campaign. And if we got time, we'll talk about the history of the 1923 Green Bay Packers and kind of these throwback unis that we're going to be diving into this year. We'll lead things off with a little Chicago Bears meltdown too. So if this is your first time tuning in, welcome into PTA. Appreciate you making us a part of your evening. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. What we are fans just like you, here to talk about the Packers on a daily basis, going live for pregame shows, postgame shows, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. We got all your camp coverage right here on the channel as well. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check the bell icon so you get notified every time we do go live. Gents, what's going on? How we doing?
Ready to go.
Oh, I'm full. I'm stuffed. I can't eat another thing. So if you guys hear me breathing heavy, or if you see the chair spinning, I'll be back. All right.
People who are listening, maybe you're like me. I got YouTube Premium, so sometimes I'll put a live stream on and just lock the screen and have my earbuds in. They're going to be listening to Jacob heavy breathing. They're thinking they're watching 1,000-pound sister over there or something.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
That's exactly right, Tim. But want to say this, big NASCAR fan, Junior Motorsports just got their 100th victory. Man, what a race. That was a lot of fun. So,
let's go.
The redneck was coming out of me just saying, I had a cowboy hat on in here watching the NASCAR race. So it was a lot of fun. All right, let's get into it. Hey, let's lead things off with a little Chicago Bears update. That's what you guys and gals came for, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm going to try to mute this.
Get ready to go.
So this was at Bears practice as Caleb Williams, surprise, surprise. It's kind of hard to see, but he throws another interception. My man, I don't know if he went colorblind. He just feels sorry for the defense, but this dude is struggling in camp. As we said earlier, you see how it started. Look how it's going, boys. Not looking good. Sportskeeda Pro Football tweeted out Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams threw two interceptions, during 5 7-on-7 plays, failing to complete a single pass in that drill. We've been pretty vocal about Caleb Williams. You guys know it was easy last year for people to just say, oh, Caleb has a bad offensive line. And then when you actually go watch the tape, you actually go watch the game, that man was holding the ball for 5, 6, 7 seconds. And he'd take a sack. You look at the stat, you look at the box score and go, well, his offensive line sucks. What do you want him to do? No, Caleb having a hard time reading defense. And I think there's some accuracy issues there as well. Generational arm talent. Don't get me wrong. I believe that. But boy, oh boy, it takes more than just arm talent to be a quarterback at the NFL level. Look at this, guys. The media, are they already turning on him in Chicago? The Sun-Times sports cover featuring the Bears, whose offense continued to sputter in camp, particularly in the red zone, right? It says, headline, red alert, Williams struggles for the third straight practice, particularly in red zone, but Bears try to keep perspective. Go around the horn here, boys, because you guys know I try not to pile on to rival takes, like I'm focused mainly on the Packers. I don't like to do the big rants and the, bashing on other fan bases and all that. But this Bears fan base talked so much trash going into last year that how many times did we hear it, Jacob, Tim, all off season long leading up to the 2024 season? All we heard was this is the best roster that's ever been put around a rookie quarterback. They're ready to win and compete right now. Well, They win 6 games. Did they get the 6? I can't remember if they got the 6 or not.
All that talk, we got to go back to Bob Uecker.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Exactly. So I want to get y'all's take on it. And listen, it's early. I get it. Isn't it nice, Jacob, to look up at Packers training camp and see Jordan Love dropping dimes? I mean, this dude, we showed the 23-yard out route just on the money. You see the drills where they're throwing at the net. He's throwing on the run, over the top, index finger on the ball, tight spiral, absolute rocket ball right into, I don't know, about a 12-inch square from 20 yards away. And then you look across just down the state there to the southeast just a touch and see them struggling in the Windy City. Jacob, how you feeling over, man? You still breathing heavy? And,
it's hurting. I'm sitting. I'm shifting. It's just weird because
he said shifting, by the way. He didn't say what you thought he said. Go ahead.
Yes. It's really weird because, coming out of college, I like what Coach said here is, Caleb, you're not playing New Mexico State anymore, bud. These are NFL players, and even the worst NFL player is probably better than most of the guys and most of the talent he's went against. It's a bit of, cold water being splashed on his face, and it's tough. It's really hard to fathom that the guy could be struggling. I mean, he paints his nails so well. I don't understand how that doesn't translate to the NFL. I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
I'm with Holmes. They won 5 games. They won 5 games. Why are we talking about this team? Why?
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
It's sometimes when things are so bad, Tim, you just got to report on them. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And I think we got a special request here, Tim, if I seen correctly here. Who is it? Yeah, here we go. Holmes MD1 says, Tim, give him the bench shot one more time of Caleb Williams, please. So let's just leave it up on the screen as we move on to the next topic here. But again, could they turn it around? Yes, they could. But when you got a guy leading the charge, a captain of your team, acting like that on the sideline, I have a hard time believing it's going to be easy to swing that ship back around. Now, we'll see what happens. And Ben Johnson, I think, is finding out he's got his work cut out for him a little bit. Jared Goff ain't coming.
Get ready to go.
Jared Goff ain't coming through that door. You know what I mean? With his, 70% completion percentage in some Sundays. And I think actually Ben Johnson actually came out and said, I want Caleb to have a 70% completion percentage this year. Good luck, Benny boy.
Good luck with that.
Yep. So there you go. There's your little Chicago Bears update. What do you got there? Read that off for me, Jake, as we move along.
It says that's the face I make when I got to finish off the greens. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the face Caleb makes when he's looking for mom in the stands after another devastating performance.
All right. Enough bashing on the Bears, man. They've been getting a lot of it here lately. All right, so let's move on to some Packers talk. As we got a couple signings, we'll start with the running back here. Yeah, respect oranges. I think that is an actual quote. I've made a huge mistake, Ben Johnson.
Get ready to go.
All right, so the Packers have signed a running back. Now, listen, is it a camp body? Is this someone who's actually going to compete for a roster spot? I lean towards camp body. But nonetheless, it's somewhat of an interesting prospect here. Let's kind of dive into it. And what I did was had the interwebs, AI, artificial intelligence say, hey, man, give me everything you know on this guy. Let me know what to expect here. All right, we got Packers claim running back. The Green Bay Packers claimed running back Israel Abanikanda. All right, say it for me, Jacob.
Abanikanda.
Abanikanda. All right, we got it. Off waivers from the San Francisco 49ers as confirmed by his agent Sean O'Gorman to the Packers on SI on July 25th, 2025. I think it was Sports Illustrated that first reported it. I believe the previous team, he was released by the 49ers on Thursday after being claimed by them from the New York Jets on December 3rd, 2024. The Packers had shown interest in him during the 2023 NFL draft where he was selected in the 5th round by the Jets. So this is a guy that probably had a 5th to 6th round talent grade on him for the Packers because they had showed some interest in him. He was obviously taken by the Jets higher than the Packers would have taken him, I would have imagined. Let's look at the RAS here real quick, right? Yes, Coach Lynn says he did go to Pitt. That's correct. He played for Pitt and came out in the 2023 class. So his overall RAS was a 9.63, okay? His height, 5'10". That scored him a 4.9. So when you score a 9.63 and your height has a score of 4.9, you can kind of tell where this is going, right? Everything else is going to be off the charts. 216 pounds, boys. That's a thick running back right there. 5'10", 216. That's pretty thick, Tim. You know what I'm saying?
Think you get the Halfley voice of approval or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hit it.
Thick.
You go. So explosion grade. You guys know the composite explosion grade is a combination of the vertical jump and the broad jump, right? Kind of shows the explosion in the legs. He had a 41-inch vertical, which scored him a 9.86, almost perfect. A broad jump of 10.08, scoring a 9.65. 40-yard dash, 4.45, scoring a 9.19. 20-yard split was even better than the 40-yard dash at a 2.53, scoring a 9.70. And the 10-yard split, even better than that, with a 1.5 10-yard split, scoring a 9.81. What does that mean, guys? The first 10 yards of that 40-yard dash was the most explosive aspect of his 40-yard dash, that 4.45. Okay. So what it tells you is really, really quick burst out the gate, maybe not as much top end speed, although the 40 itself still scored a 9.19, which is pretty impressive. The shuttle is okay. Nothing really to write home about there. So you're talking about the composite agility grading out okay. His shuttle was a 4.32, scoring a 5.32. Three cone was a 7.14, scoring a 5.11. Jacob, I think we can work with this, man. What do you think about this RAS here? This ain't too bad.
Well, first of all, Tim, Respect Oranges is requesting a little something from you, if possible.
Never thought we'd get to the point where we're getting requests.
Drop shout outs.
I've seen it coming a long time ago.
Best guy around.
That'll do. I actually was very high on him coming out of the draft, and I was a little surprised that he didn't get a good stint with New York. But then when you look at what happened, they had Breece Hall. They also had Braylon Allen, the two-headed monster, and they also drafted another back, I believe, in this draft. So he just kind of was the odd man out. But I agree with you. I mean, his size, I think it's almost perfect for what the Packers and Goody usually love. That speed is pretty impressive. And you say like the 10-yard, the 20-yard, and the 40 all very intriguing numbers there. I think the biggest one for me was that vertical 41-yard. I mean, that dude's dunking. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's dunking with ease, being able to jump that high, even at 5'10". Clint says he can jump over Joe Pesci. I could probably I could probably get over Joe at this time of day, but I'm personally pretty excited. I think that between him and Amar Johnson, that'd be a great competition there for our practice squad. So I'm all about it. Totally pumped.
Yep.
If anything, Tim, these are the guys we're going to be seeing the most of in preseason, right? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad you had the phonetic spelling included in the article so we can all say his name correctly.
Listen, I'm tired of proving I'm an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I've proven it time and time again, so I'm going to start doing that with the pronunciations. Go ahead.
You got to do it, because this is the time of year when we're all looking at the preseason games going, who?
Exactly right.
And I'm going to echo Jacob's sentiment. This shows that we're serious. Dead ass serious this year. And we already have a stellar running back room as it is, but competition needs to be kept at its highest caliber, especially in training camp. And this guy's got high ceiling or no ceiling. And I love it, man. Let's do it. We're going to see a lot of reps here, probably right away against who? His former team.
Is it really?
One?
I'll be darned. It is, right?
Look at that.
The Jets.
Who?
And the Jets are going to be coming into Lambeau. So he made a little preseason revenge game. Does that actually exist?
I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, we'll find out. Roster context. The Packers needed depth at running back due to undrafted rookie Amar Johnson missing training camp practices with a hamstring injury and being on the non-football injury list. So you're kind of filling that void there a little bit, right? This right here, guys, with Amar Johnson, I hope Amar Johnson pans out. I have a lot more hope in Amar Johnson than I do in someone like Israel here, right? But with that being said, you can't make the club in the tub. This is what we're talking about. You can't make the club in the tub. That phrase that we use time and time again, I heard it coined by our boy Tim Ryan, who was on Moving the Chains way back in the day on Sirius NFL Radio. And this is what he's talking about. Like you cannot give yourself a shot to make the 53 or even the practice squad if you're not healthy. That's not a knock against Amar. Things happen, and hopefully he can get on the field as soon as possible. But this is kind of that signing to, I don't want to say replace, but fill that void and make sure you got enough camp bodies. And who knows, man, you might catch lightning in a bottle. NFL experience in his rookie season with the Jets, he played 6 games, had 22 carries for 70 yards, and 7 receptions for 43 yards. He saw no game action with the Niners in 2024. So it's a very, very minute grade there of like a 59, I believe. So you kind of throw it out the window, to be honest with you. The player profile, he's a Brooklyn native, was a 4-star recruit, and described himself at the scouting combine as humble, mentally tough, and dedicated, attributes shaped by his Nigerian upbringing. So he's actually from Nigeria. Really, really cool backstory there. System familiarity. He is familiar with the Packers' offensive system, having worked under similar schemes with Jets coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who just happens to be in Packers camp now. Do you think Hackett might have
mentioned something?
Put a little birdie in there. Like,
he spent some time over there across the river in Jersey, right? With the Jets, right?
I think it makes a lot of sense. And then, of course, the 49ers picked him up and that's Shanahan's scheme. So he's already been embedded in this wide zone boot look. Now we're doing a little more duo than we have in the past in terms of wide zone, but it's all duo is zone, right? We've talked about this. It's just that double vertical power. Current roster.
Can I real quick? I just like the note here you had in the article about being humble, mentally tough, and dedicated. Attributes that to his Nigerian upbringing. We had a guy at camp last year, and the year before, Kenneth Odumegwu, part of the international program. So you see the Packers' intent on bringing guys like this into the fold. Those are terms that they have nothing to do with the X's and O's, but we look for humble, mentally tough, dedicated guys in Green Bay. And if you don't believe me, look at Josh Jacobs. Look at Jordan Love. Let's run down the list of guys that we have. So I thought that was really cool that you put that in the article.
Absolutely. And to go back to what we originally started with here, this is anti-humble here. All right. And
here's a guy.
When you're anti-humble, you end up here. That's what happens. Okay. That's typically the chain of, that's the way that works. So current roster, the Packers have 7 running backs on their 90-man training camp roster with Josh Jacobs as the Pro Bowl starter, obviously. So when you look at the running back room here, Jacob, you got Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson. I'm going to put Marshawn Lloyd above, although it's sorted by PFF grades. Marshawn Lloyd above Chris Brooks because he was a third-round pick, right? So you got those 3 plus Chris Brooks. Those are the 4 who I think have a really good shot, all 4 of them being on the roster. If you have to stick with 3, it's going to be Marshawn Lloyd, Emmanuel Wilson, Josh Jacobs with Chris Brooks on the practice squad. Then you've got our boy Israel, Amar Johnson, and then Jalen Watt. I like what they've done here, Jacob. They've brought in another athletic freak at the running back position, plugged him right in Amar Johnson's spot. And if Amar Johnson gets healthy and you got to cut this guy loose, hey, it was worth bringing him in to fill that void for a short time. If it ends up being a bigger problem with Amar Johnson, maybe you got a guy that you can press into the practice squad and pull him into a game in a pinch.
Yeah, for sure. I think that we've done a fantastic job of compiling an excellent group of running backs. Even if we have some injuries in here, I am not worried whatsoever about that room. Do you guys know, is Israel going to actually rock the 00 as his number, or is that just because he's so new? Because I was thinking today,
camp designation. I think
I was thinking, has there ever been a Packer that wore the 0?
0 is not a legal number,
right? Has there ever been a Packer though that wore 0? Because I know it's getting more popular. I believe I saw some running back just switched his number to 0, and I'm just wondering, has the Packers ever had a 0 on their squad?
I don't think they have, Jacob. To the best of my knowledge, not in the last.
Let's count the good. Nobody had numbers, or they changed numbers every 5 minutes, or somebody borrowed a sweater from somebody's trunk of the car and went out and played ball, maybe.
Yeah. And shout out to go ahead, Jacob. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to agree with you. I think that Marshawn Lloyd has got to probably take the 3 spot right now over Chris Brooks, and that's not easy to do because I really think Chris Brooks showed a lot of guts down the stretch, and he was clearly somebody that Matt LaFleur trusted, which I honestly didn't think that he trusted him as much as he did. But he was in the game for key snaps during key moments of key games, and didn't just have him in there for pass blocking. He actually liked him a lot in the passing game, and I thought he did a really good job of catching out of the backfield.
Yeah. So shout out to Easton Butler, our good friend. Guys, everybody go give him a follow.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to follow someone who's just a great dude, we got to meet him at the draft. Gives a lot of great information because he's right there local in Green Bay as well. He actually said, Jacob, running back Israel Aban, I ain't going to try to screw it up again, will wear number 23. So he's taking Jair's number currently.
Look at that.
All right. Yeah. So just wanted to shout Easton out. Go give him a follow, guys. Easton at Easton _ Butler. You will not be disappointed with that.
Turn the notifications on too, because you never know. You'll get stuff all the time. It's fresh news all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, so there you go. That is the let me go ahead and publish that. Actually, let me get that off the screen. So there is your running back signing. Okay, and we'll see if that plays a role in how this roster is constructed. Let's move on to the cornerback signing that we had. And shout out to Easton. It was actually Easton's tweet that made me aware that we had signed Garnett Hollis. All right, so we got another young DB stepping into the fold here, and we'll just kind of go through from where it began. Yeah, Garnett Hollis Jr. So coming out of high school, he was a 3-star according to Rivals Industry ranking with an 86.5 6'3" grade coming out of high school. Okay, they had him listed at 6'1", 185. As he ended up enrolling, I believe right out of the gate, he enrolled, at Western Virginia. And he is from Franklin, Tennessee. I had no idea until I looked this information up. So that's pretty cool. Just over toured, I believe, Nashville, if I remember correctly. But he was actually recruited by Northwestern, South Carolina, Arkansas, Purdue, and Louisville. Guys, those aren't like small schools, not at all. So had some of the larger programs seeking his play there as he came out of high school. When you look at the PFF grades, 2021 minimal playing time, he had a 62.3, 2022 a 65.1, 2023 a 73.0. So what you see is
wait a minute. Did you say 65?
65%.
That's right. So you had a player that was ascending all the way through 2023, Jacob. Then he took a step back in 2024 at a 53.1. And it's easy to go, okay, we always want those players that are ascending. We've talked about it time and time again. I'll give you an example of a player that was ascending and then took a step back. That was Jaden Reed, his final year in college. So what's your take so far on our boy Garnett Hollis Jr. out of West Virginia, Jacob?
Yeah, love the size. Like you said, played for, West Virginia, they play some dogs out there. You look at where he's played, he's definitely not a slot, right? He's got only 3 slot snaps, looks like over 550 wide cornerback. And what really stands out too is he looks like he's a special teams guy. And I think that if there is a way for him to maybe possibly sneak on any type of squad or at least be a contributor on the practice squad, I think he's definitely going to need to be a well-rounded player, which it looks like he clearly is. So I got a lot of excitement for him just to bring him in here, get some more competition. Do I expect he's going to make the roster or anything like that? Probably not. No, barring some crazy injuries or, situations like that. But it's always good to have another guy like that can come in and compete.
Yeah, shout out to Celestial Prophet 20, who just became a member here on YouTube. Appreciate the support there. You will be entered into the giveaway tomorrow. We're going to be giving away an autographed Dontavion Wicks card, rookie card. Okay, so anyone who is a member here on YouTube, if you're not a member, you want to become one, just click that join tab that's right below the video. Or you can join our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. Scan the QR code in the upper right, or just go to the site. If you're a member of that $3 tier, or you join as a member on YouTube, you'll be entered into the giveaways. And again, it's a Dontavion Wicks autographed rookie card. Really sweet piece of memorabilia. We got some others coming. We got, I think, 2 or 3 LVN autographed rookie cards. We got some Josh Jacobs jersey cards, which are real cool. So just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. We appreciate you there, Prophet. Tim, look at the RAS, man. Not that bad. 8.26 for Garnett Hollis out of West Virginia. He was 6 foot, 199 pounds. Okay. Yep. Only 11 bench reps, which you're not too concerned with that with the cornerback position. So your composite size grade was considered great here, right? Composite explosion grade was good with a 36, I believe, 36.5-inch vertical, might be 38, kind of hard to read, 7.29 score, and then a broad jump of 10.05, scoring an 8.11. The 40-yard dash was a 4.5 flat, scoring a 7.11. 20-yard split was a 2.59, which was probably the stronger part of the 40-yard dash, kind of that mid-range, right? The 10-yard split was a 1.58, scoring a 6.20. So one of those guys that not the fastest off the line, but that intermediate closing, you got probably the most productive aspect of his 40. The shuttle, not great, 4.30, scoring a 4.96. He did not run the 3-cone. So you've got an RAS of 8.26, Tim. You've got a ceiling of 73.0 in PFF in terms of college grade. I don't know, man. This might be one of those dudes that makes practice squad,
That's why I love your Jaden Reed comparison. I love that you brought Bird's name up because we talked about that before, things really got going with his career. And we said we had to look back at the year before. We were going into that draft and people were low on him because of his previous year's grade. And I think this is another player who, we could use as an example. 6'1", 201. I mean, that's the prototype that that's the range. And then if you scroll down to the RAS again, this is what I love, right? 11 reps on the bench, right? Whatever, that's red. A little low on the shuttle. Those are things you can change at the pro level. You can hit the weight room. You can hit the cone drills, and you can work with your staff and develop as a player. So those are all things that'll come along as he develops. So I love this signing. Ever since Ja left, we gave him the boot, however you want to look at it. Corner is not, I don't want to use the word concern, but you have to put a star up there, and you have to keep fresh crop of talent in the room, and you have to have a competitive room. We have a lot of talent there already. But you're one injury away, or you're, one lackluster performance or two during training camp away from moving down the depth chart and looking to the next guy. So, I mean, we're happy with Hobbs. We're happy with the way Valentine's been playing. Keyshawn's going to be Keyshawn, but you got to have depth of talent, especially at the corner position.
Yeah. So if we take a look at the cornerback room currently, we got Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Javon Bullard. All four of those are slam dunks to make the roster, right? Everything outside of that, though, I could make a case for Kamal Haddon. I could make a case for Kalen King. We could make a case for Bo Melton if he sticks, and they really like his versatility, being able to play wide receiver and corner. Micah Robinson, there was a lot around him, although I think he started injured here with camp. Might be another can't make the club in the tub type deals. Jonathan Baldwin, I remember us doing a breakdown on him. There was another guy, too. Who's Bugs? Is it Kazir Brown?
That's Kazir Brown.
Kazir Brown.
Physical freak right there, right? So you've got, again, Kalen King. We'll go back up to Kamal Haddon. Kalen King. Now you got Garnett Hollis Jr. You got Gregory Jr., Jonathan Baldwin, Bo Melton, Tyron Herring. You've got Kazir Bugs Brown, Micah Robinson, and Isaiah Dunn. So, it just feels like Goody just stacked this stuff up here, boys, and said, let's just get a bunch of young, athletic freak talent and see what sticks. And, hey, while we're at it, Jacob, let's just make Bo Melton wear number 16 and put him on that side of the ball, too.
Yeah. Look, obviously you said the first four, we kind of know that those guys are locks here. It is interesting. We've got a lot of a pool here that some guys could maybe emerge that we would not have thought about. I even look at guys like Gregory Jr. You heard some kind of murmurs of him doing some stuff in camp. I really like Tyron Herring and his size. Kazir Brown being at 6'3", 210. I mean, I don't know about you, Tim, but I look at these guys and I see a certain type of build, like you said, that they're trying to get. They seem to want a guy that's at least 6 foot. I mean, they're hovering more towards around that 200 mark than, I think the odd guy out is Micah Robinson. He's 6 foot, 184. That's, I think, the smallest guy that they have on there. So it looks like we're trying to maybe be a little bit more of a bulkier, a little more size. I think we want these guys to be able to come in and throw their heads down and make some plays in the running game and also be a little more physical. And I'm all about that, man. I mean, you look at the top four right there, Bullard ain't afraid to throw. Hobbs sounds like he's just a madman. You know what we got in Keyshawn? He's not afraid to throw his head in there. Carrington, for being kind of a squirrely, very quick guy, he's willing to throw some thunder every now and then. So I'm pretty excited about the possibilities, even though it stinks that we had to let Jair go, or like Tim said, give him the boot. But the thing is it's a new team, it's a new day, and I think that this team could surprise a lot of people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree, man. Love too the fact that Javon Bullard hasn't even turned 23 years old yet, man.
That's
and there's
crazy.
some people already ready to write him off. It's like, man, we got to slow down. We got to slow.
We're just getting started, baby. About
right.
them Bulldogs, baby. Let's go.
All right, so there is your latest cornerback signing. Now, since we're talking DB, let's just kind of keep it in that vein there, okay? And our boy Evan Williams, man, the stuff he did as a rookie last year, really, really impressive, right? And I know there were several articles written today, so I had AI, hey, go grab any information you got on Evan Williams going into year 2, and let's just kind of dive into it here a little bit, okay? And I want to give a shout out to Tom Silverstein, okay? All quotes mentioned below we shared by Tom Silverstein in his most recent article in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, okay? That article can be found here. So if you're in the Patreon group, or if you want to just screenshot this so you can go check out his article, or just go to his Twitter account, you can find that article in its entirety. He had some really good quotes in that article, okay? So Evan Williams' background rookie season. Obviously, Evan Williams was selected as a 4th-round pick in 2024 for the Packers. Williams quickly emerged as a training camp standout, leading all players with 5 interceptions. You guys remember that last year, how Evan Williams was just constantly taking the ball away in training camp. Lo and behold, it transitioned right onto the field in the regular season. So he transitioned from backup to starter by week 4, making 7 starts, including the playoff game, with notable performances like 10 tackles and 2 pass breakups in his debut game against the Rams and a game-clinching interception against the Indianapolis Colts. He earned a spot on the Pro Football Writers of America all-rookie team for his contribution. So all rookie according to the PFW there. So health challenges in 2024. He suffered a thigh injury, much like Jacob on the pole over there at the club. He suffered a thigh injury before the December 23rd, 2024 game against New Orleans, missing 3 regular season games. He aggravated the injury in the first quarter of the January 12th, 2025 wildcard playoff loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, playing the rest of the game at reduced capacity. So you could tell the difference between a college season and an NFL season much longer, and it kind of caught up with him, it seems like. So I think he's going to be even more prepared to absorb that kind of wear and tear on his body going into 2025. The injury required a month to heal postseason, delaying his offseason training. Okay, so learning to stay healthy postseason, the Packers sent Williams to Badger Athletic Performance at UW-Madison for analysis, where sensors evaluated his running form, strength, flexibility, and potential injury causes like stress on hamstrings and quads. He described the process, quote, this is one of the quotes from Tom Silverstein's article, they just track your running form, kind of get you fully hooked up to a bunch of sensors and just see how the way that you run might affect the injury that you have. I got the answers that I needed. Jacob, this sounds a lot like the Christian Watson stuff, right?
Yeah.
When he went down and got that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems like whatever they did, if you guys can remember, there was multiple seasons back to back where we were firing our training squad, the strength and conditioning coaches were getting, shipped out like yesterday's trash. Whatever they did when they found that, I think it was the exact same one, right? The Badger Athletic Club, where they went and found out that Watson had one of his quads was like 20% more developed than the other one or something crazy like that. So obviously his body was favoring that. And that's what led to him not fully being able to heal the right way. I think when they found out how that helped Watson so dramatically, it seems like they've been going to that well over and over and over again, because I honestly, it's pretty interesting to see the science that's behind all this. He talks about all the sensors, people don't think how technical the game of football is, obviously on the field. It's even crazier when you take a step back and look at what the rehab, the training, everything that goes around it, the dietitians, you know what I mean? It's not just the hour that you're on the field, the 3 hours you play the game. It's a full-time lifestyle that these guys have to do to keep their bodies in that sort of peak form to be able to play at this level. It's pretty cool too that they've found a home there with the Badger Athletic Performance Club there at UW-Madison. And it almost feels like that we have like an advantage in that aspect. Like if guys are that good at rehabbing and being able to understand precisely, half the problem is not necessarily having the right diagnosis for some of these issues. When they know that for sure they can pinpoint exactly what is wrong with you down to the way you're running, that's pretty cool.
Pretty wild. And Tim, as he was talking about that, how these guys, it's like a full-time job keeping your body tuned to be able to play at the NFL level. All I could think about is some overweight guy sitting on his couch in his whitey toddies with the Cheeto stains on the right hip or left hip, depending on if he's left-handed or right.
Should have made that tackle.
Yeah. This guy's Christian Watson's.
We need more sacks, guys. Guys, we need more sacks.
Yeah.
Max Crosby gets so many sacks.
The
meatloaf.
The other thing here, it says he has added muscle to his 5'11", 200-pound frame. Feels healthy, lean, and fast, stating, quote, I'm just really ready to tear it up this year, honestly. Just make that leap.
Thick.
It sounds like Evan's in a good spot here, man. And like I said, shout out to Tom Silverstein for getting these awesome quotes from Evan and putting that together.
Yeah, Spoon is the man, right? The man, the myth, the legend, plugged in, absolutely. We're a long way away from shut up and rub some dirt in it, right? Remember the old days, Jacob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, are you hurt or are you injured? Shut up and play. Yeah, it's a new dawn, a new day, and the advancements that we've had with not just technology but in the medical field, and like Jacob saying, being able to analyze the way a guy like physically runs stride for stride in real time and understand a potential injury before it starts, or maybe one that you're rehabbing and preventing it in the future. I mean, that's huge, man. This is next level.
Yeah, for sure. Coach's insights. All right. Head coach Matt LaFleur emphasized learning his body to avoid injuries. Quote, he's got to continue to learn his body because I know there were some injuries last year. He's another guy that loves the game. He's extremely intelligent. You could really see that on the tape, man. He seemed like he was playing a half a step fast, and it was because of this and not the physical ability that he has. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley praised his growth. Quote, He's a very intelligent player. He started to learn how to study the game more, and he's starting to understand how serious you need to take it. His current role and expectations, currently starting as a strong safety opposite Xavier McKinney, competing with Javon Bullard, who may shift to slot corner, obviously full-time. Williams on his growth, quote, I think I've grown tremendously just as far as the habits I have, being able to take care of my body like a professional. I'm taking walkthroughs as serious as you can and being intentional with all you do here. Positioned to help the defense improve significantly now that he's healthy and committed. So if he wasn't committed last year, and he went out and had that kind of performance, talk about raising the bar. And for those that are in the Patreon group, this YouTube link right here that you see on the channel or on the article, which is this stuff you have access to on our Patreon group, click that. That'll send you directly to our YouTube channel and the specific video where we did a Chalk Talk segment on Evan Williams just about a month ago. So if you want to kind of relive what he did last year, the link's right there conveniently easy for you to find there on the article on Patreon. So anything else on Evan Williams, gents? Anything at all?
Yeah, just real quick, if you guys want to see, I mean, every time I watch an interview with him, I just am so impressed by how mature he seems. We forget, I mean, his rookie season, we didn't expect a lot. We talk about it often on this podcast, how when we did the breakdown of him in college, we're like, yeah, he's the thumper. It looks like he can play the run real well, but man, he's not great at the pass, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, I think was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, compared to what we thought.
We were all surprised by his coverage grade, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And even more impressive than what he does on the field to me is how he carries himself off the field for being so young, coming into a defense where, again, we did not expect much out of him, and he overperforming. And then the way he just handles himself in interviews, if you want to have a good time, I believe it's like a 5 or 6 minute interview that the Packers have on their website that he did from maybe a couple days ago, where he just talks about the process of him, what it took for him to come into the NFL, how he actually had a great little blurb about how he used to actually know Hobbs back in the day, how he played with his older brother, how he used to come to the house and play with him and all that kind of stuff.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And what's even better than that is just like the guy, he had expectations for himself. He seems like Coach has said, he's got really good FBI to the point where, if we didn't have a guy like X back there, it was kind of the field general. I feel like Evan Williams is that type of player that could make that unbelievably large step in year 2 and become kind of more of like I hate to say middle linebacker, but like the quarterback of that defense. And he also made a really great point too, that he says, it's awesome coming in to his personal year 2 at the same time that Hafley's coming into year 2. Because he feels like that he started at the same time as his defensive coach, the defensive coordinator, the actual field general, you know what I mean? And he says it's just really, really exciting because everybody's going into that year 2, even though it's his year 2 as an NFL player. He feels like the whole defense is kind of in that sophomore season, which they are obviously coming together. And the way that they're kind of all on the same page, it seems like, and they kind of know what the base defense is, that now they're starting to get a little more spicy. You know what I mean? They had the base recipe down. Now they're throwing in a little spice here and there, where it's like these guys are going to be a little more technical, a little more hopefully not thinking, not in their head. That was the biggest thing that Hafley, when he came in, he's like, I want these guys just playing. I don't want them thinking. That was always like a big motto for him, I feel like. And it seems like they've bought into that. And this year, if they're not thinking, bro, and they're just running and being absolute human meat missiles, watch out, NFL.
That goes hand in hand with FBI, right? Part of football intelligence is, you trust the preparation, right? You embrace the process, you trust the system. And then when Sunday rolls around, you just go out there and play your game, man. You don't overthink it. You go out there and play free, right? And, to your point, Jacob, I remember thinking last year when, Packers.com did the little segment with Evan Williams and Leroy Butler. They sat down and had a little conversation kind of welcoming him to Green Bay. And my first reaction was kind of similar to yours, is, man, this guy is a total pro already, and he's barely been in the league. Now we're going into year 2 in this Hafley system with the room that we're putting together. Keep your eyes on E-Will, man. This guy's going to blow up this year. I got a real strong feeling about it. Yeah,
and being in that room with Xavier McKinney constantly, gosh, it's just such a blessing. So there you go. There's your little Evan Williams year 2 update. Let's go to the chat real quick, get these cleaned up. Clint, the armchair quarterback, said, I wouldn't want to be the one who makes the final cuts. It's the part of the season that I hate the most is when we get to that last week. I remember last year it was Christian Welch. I'm like, how can you look that man in the eye and say you didn't make the team when he did everything right through the preseason. I mean, he had production in the preseason. He was standing out at camp. But thank God he's back on the roster again this year, and it's pretty cool that once again he may not make the roster, but he's going to be pushing for a practice squad spot. Randy Steen in the chat said, I got my autographed LVN this past week. Thanks, fellas.
Nice.
Hey, thank you for supporting the channel. Randy obviously won one of our giveaways, so really, really cool there. Appreciate you, Randy. Andy Monday in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Says the literal translation of Gudikance is good art. Goody always working to craft our roster. Holmes MD1 says, hold on a second. I need to drop AFAM's ma off at her 12-step program quick. Be right back. So thank you, Holmes, for and thank Jacob for marking that. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Coach Lynn.
That is correct.
Coach Lynn says Williams might be our best open field tackler. I can't argue with that at all. Again, That's what popped on the college tape to us. And then lo and behold, we were concerned about the coverage. My man goes out there and covers lights out. Played absolutely great. So, all right, let's move along to the next topic here, and that's our boy Christian Watson. I don't know how you guys feel about this, man, but I just got a weird feeling that we're going to see him sooner rather than later. Now, I'm not talking about him going out there and playing full speed in camp, but this feels like it might be closer to the 3 or 4 game mark as opposed to the 6 or 7 game mark. Now, maybe it falls right in the middle, right after the bye. Who knows? But I don't know, man. Just things are looking really, really up for Scoot. Let's kind of go through how the injury occurred and the timeline, and I want to get your all's take on maybe where you anticipate him, stepping back into the lineup, right? So the injury diagnosis and initial prognosis back in January of 2025, right? Christian Watson suffered that torn ACL in his right knee during the Packers' Week 18 game against Chicago on January 5th, ending the season for him. His father indicated he would miss most of the 2025 regular season with a potential return around Week 12 following surgery and standard rehab. So his dad kind of hinted at Week 12. This was early on, right? Surgery and early recovery. January to March of 2025, Watson underwent the ACL reconstruction surgery shortly after the injury. By March, reports highlighted a promising start to the recovery with no major setbacks. That's the first.
My knee.
First step in the process is no setbacks with the surgery, right? That's what happened with Bach over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Positive updates came in the spring in May of 2025. Watson provided a positive self-update on his knee, recovering during OTA, stating he was ahead of schedule. Head coach Matt LaFleur confirmed this, noting Watson's progress, but emphasizing caution. All right, mid-off-season progress. So in June of this year, by minicamp, Watson appeared ahead of schedule in his ACL rehab, participating in limited activities. LaFleur gave an honest update, warning of potential limitations, but Watson shared videos showing improvement. Reports suggested he could return sooner than initially expected. All right, now let's get into training camp here real quick. Well, let me just pause there and get your all's take up to this point. I love how the coaching staff, his dad, and I'm sure the trainers are going, hey, everybody chill out, right? Mm-hmm. And Scoot puts videos of him running routes out there like he's going full throttle and everybody else is trying to – it just shows you the type of competitor that Christian Watson is. Tim, what do you think so far? And we'll continue on here with the rest of the information we got. But, man, this is looking good for Scoot, man. He's looking good. You got to see it firsthand at camp, right? Him riding the bike gave you the fist bump on his way to the practice field. What are we thinking about Scoot?
And I'm keeping an eye on stuff like this. This is a great shot here. He's, constantly running and moving. I hang out in that back corner and kind of watch the rehab group. I've been having my eyes on Quay these past couple of days. I can't wait for Scoot to, pop over there and start doing a little more. And we start seeing more and more as we advance through the preseason. I liked Ron Sandville's comment, maybe after the bye. I mean, that might be, wishful thinking or an extremely early timetable. But, I mean, if we're talking at the bye, after the bye, around that time of the season that he's looking like he's about ready to, hit the field and see some game speed, that's going to be, a great thing for us. And, Scoot's had to deal with this his whole career. Like, everyone, I know I'm not the only one on this pod that's sick and tired of the glass comments and, all this nonsense. I mean, he's had to prove himself since the minute his feet hit the ground here at 1265. And, he handles it like a total pro, and this is a guy you want to root for and you want to see successful and come back ahead of schedule. I think it's a foregone conclusion that he will be ahead of that initial prediction. I know we were excited for Thanksgiving, possibly. I even joked about, sometime in October around my birthday, maybe we'll see Scoot play in the game. But I fully expect that regardless of what the timetable is, he's going to exceed it. And it's going to be earlier than a lot of people expect, much like we saw not too long ago with Rashawn Gary and his progress with a very similar injury. So go Scoot, go. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and a couple comments here, Jacob. Whiskey 61, it might be the coolest name on YouTube. I love it. 12 personnel with Christian and Savion is going to be epic. And then Coach Lynn comes back and says 11 personnel with Watson, Golden, Reed, and Kraft will be unstoppable.
Let's
go. How exciting is that, Jacob?
And if Musgrave makes that step this year, 12 personnel is going to be no problem for this offense, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacob, what's your take so far, man?
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I'm sick of the glass stuff. I just asked Grok, so maybe it's not exactly accurate, but I asked, would you consider Romeo Doubs made of glass? I wouldn't, personally. Right. I don't think so. But him and Watson have missed a similar amount of games. You know what I mean? With Dobbs's head injuries and certain other things that had to keep him off. And the way that Watson got hurt, it was a legit injury. And I just think that he is a difference maker. Everybody talks about how we don't have an X, we don't have this, we don't have the number one receiver. I always like the way that Clinton describes a number one receiver, or the quote unquote X. If it's a true number one, basically it's somebody that the defense has to dictate what he's going to do on every play. Is that fair to say that, Clayton?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I firmly believe that when Christian Watson is on the field, the defenses have to know where he is on every play. I really do feel like that, especially when he's healthy. And I hate that adage too. I hate that verbiage, when he's healthy, right? But when he is, the guy, he is just an absolute field stretcher. He's a difference maker. And now the fact that we have some other guys behind him, maybe Mr. Golden, Bullet. If you got a guy named Scoot and a guy named Bullet on your wide receiver core, you better have some fast DBs, man, because they're going to be leaving them in the dust, So I'm very excited about when he comes back, whatever time that be. If it's week 4, week 5, week 6, week 12, I'm ready to have him absolutely add a burner to this offense.
Yeah, and what's awesome about what you just said too, Matthew Golden in a moving Z spot, 4.2 40 speed. Christian Watson, whether he's playing X, Z, and you move Golden over to X from time to time, you could take that route if you want. 4.2 40 speed, so you got those just absolute burners. We're not even talking about Jaden Reed, who, by the way, has outperformed every other receiver on this roster, including Christian Watson. That's not a shot at Christian Watson. That just shows just how damn good Jaden Reed has been since he came in the league. So just want to throw that out there too, man. It's going to be exciting with 11 personnel. Training camp status. Let's get into it here most recently, right? July 2025. Placed on the physically unable to perform list, also known as a PUP list, at the start of camp on July 21st, meaning he won't practice initially and could miss the first 4 games if not activated by August 26th. So you got kind of a deadline there. If he's not activated by August 26th, he's going to be out the first 4 games, which I think we're all anticipating at least the first 4 games, right? So that's how that'll shake out. However, he's on the fast track, rehabbing diligently all offseason and now performing various running drills, including change of direction work. That's a huge step. Latest coach and player comments in July earlier this month, probably just a few days ago. Head coach Matt LaFleur described Watson's recovery as outstanding and noted his hard work. Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, indicated Watson could return to the active roster sooner than anticipated. Watson himself told reporters he's in a, quote, really good spot in rehab. Now, shifting to social media, Christian Watson's dad, we interact on there quite a bit, man. Really, really like him as a follow. He said almost 6'5" and 220 pounds, moving like a gazelle. Can't wait till it's go time. Apparently, he also has more fans amongst the Packers faithful than his haters would like, and did the fist bump emoji. And as you can see here, he had just quote tweeted at Alec_332, said, fan to Christian Watson, quote, when are you coming back? Watson with a smirk. As soon as I can. The wide receivers out here doing sprints and resistant band work at training camp. So with that being said, I just love that Tazim, Christian's dad, is starting to recognize that the loud people on X are in the minority. It's the loud minority, right? It's those people that scream he's made of glass and this and that. And as I think it was Chris the Casual in the chat here said just a second ago, there ain't nobody in this chat calling him made of glass, saying he's made of glass.
Man, yep.
I love the community we've created here, and it has nothing to do with me, Tim, Jacob, Amelia, or anybody who helps with the pod. It's the group of fans that have kind of gravitated towards the chat. I love the way that we get in here and talk ball. So, going to be a lot of fun, man, to see when he actually makes his return. And when he does, could you imagine if the game he comes back, Tim, it's at Lambeau Field, and when he comes out of that tunnel onto that field active on game day, oh my God.
Oh man, it's going to be fire. And, like Jacob was talking about earlier, you always talk about a true number one, right? A guy that whether you're in zone or man, the defense is going to tilt when Christian Watson's on the field, period, point blank. You can send him in motion, see if a guy's following, maybe tip the coverage. But even if they're not in a man and they're sitting in the zone, that safety is going to shade. He's going to shade towards Christian Watson. And that's a true field tilter. And, I think honestly, it may prove that he's just one of many that we have on this team when it's all said and done. But getting a guy like him back, in the prime of your season, kind of rounding out that first, quarter or first half of your massive 17-game season in the NFL, it's going to be a huge boost to this offense for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Jacob, any other thoughts on Christian Watson here, man, before we move on?
Just what Coach Len says here. He says he can't be made of glass when you block the way that Watson does. And I think that might be his – I think it has to be his most underrated part of his game is that everybody thinks he's a field stretcher or burner, possession receiver, whatever you want to say, which I think is true. But he is a damn good blocker for how lanky he is and what we ask him to do. 6'5", 220, yeah, but that's not easy for a guy like him to get his hands on you and keep you blocking the water cooler like he can block. And the last thing I wanted to highlight was I think Deadfish made a great point here. He says Watson's a difference maker. Golden betters Watson's speed. Williams matches Watson's speed. I see Golden and Williams as an insurance policy for Watson. That's how important he is to the offense.
Yeah,
that's a great point right there.
Great point. I want to say this too. You guys go check yourself over on Christian's dad's Twitter account at NFL Hitman 33. But I think he confirmed the 220 pounds. If you guys remember, I want to say he said that Christian Watson was playing at about 212 last year. I think that was the number he was at. So nice. This is 2 years in a row that it sounds like he's beefing up a touch, right?
Maybe they asked him to put on 10 pounds or something, and he's, almost there. A couple more to go.
Yeah, it could be. So the fact that he's ahead of schedule after putting that extra weight, you know how easy it would be like, okay, let's take this knee thing kind of easy. Let's don't put on any extra weight, right? He's just full steam ahead. Now let's stick with the program. We wanted me to be at 220 in year 3. Let's get it done, or year 4, whatever year it is, right? So 6'5", 220 at receiver. Now think about most corners, 5'10", right? 5'11", somewhere around there. You trying to cover a 6'5" wide receiver who's just
a guy that runs a faster 40 than you do. Good luck with that.
Unbelievable, man. All right. So I was thinking about jumping into the 1923 Green Bay Packers and the story behind the jersey. You guys want to hit that? Or you want to carry it into tomorrow? We covered quite a bit here. What do you think? What y'all want to do? Wrap it up.
Jacob, what do you think there, Jacob? You want to go back to the 20s, or what do you want to do?
Yes.
All right. He said yes. It just shows you guys I don't call the shots around here. All right. I'm just the mouthpiece here. All right. So this is really, really cool. The story behind the team that inspired this year's throwback uniforms. What, Jacob?
No, I can't. I'm here. It's war in the Pacific. Get your buckets and let's go. Got to go to practice and I got to go kill a few. Never mind.
Buy your war bonds right now. Get your war bonds.
All right. Amos gets off the rails so quick. All right. So the Green Bay Packers professionals, state and Northwest champions is what it says here in 1923, right? And it's I guess the credit goes to the Stiller photo. I don't know if Stiller was maybe the person that took the picture. Look at this crew right here, boys. Seriously. Who's messing with that bunch?
Who's the second one from the left on the bottom?
This guy?
No, to the right.
Over here?
No, second one from the left on the bottom.
Oh,
who's that man?
That's Opie Taylor's brother. What's his name? Ron Howard's brother? What's that look like? You know what I'm talking about? I am not an attractive man. What he said, and wasn't born with a fully functional brain. Anyway, you guys got to go watch The Water. It's awesome. Yeah, that's a good call there, Jacob. That dude, Boy, oh, Bill, I don't think he had quite as much luck with the ladies as old Curly up here. Curly was Mr. Steal Your Grandma right here. Let me tell you, that dude was not playing games. All right. So this shot, obviously from the 20s, 1923. Notice the sleeves, right?
Yep.
So they wore navy and gold. We'll talk about why they did that. But you notice the stripes on the sleeves, right? And that was somewhat inspired here with the New Jersey. So let's talk about the 1923 Green Bay Packers season. It was their 5th season overall and their 3rd season in the National Football League. The team finished with a 7-2-1 record under player coach Curly Lambeau, earning them 3rd place. This was the Packers' first season in Bellevue Park as well. We'll talk about Bellevue here in a second. The NFL season opener on September 30th, bringing the Minneapolis Marines to town for their NFL debut, drew a paid attendance of 3,008 strong. Said to be, quote, the largest crowd that ever witnessed a football game in Green Bay at the time. That figure would be exceeded twice more during the year. So you can kind of see their schedule.
As appropriately, we beat Minnesota 12-0.
There you
Love
go.
it.
Exactly. I don't know how many innings that game went, but they did beat them 12-0. So it looks like that might have been the first game they played September 23rd might have just been like a scrimmage or something. It kind of looks like. I could be wrong there. Maybe it wasn't. But they played the Hibbing Miners, won that 10-0. September 30th, they played the Minneapolis Marines, winning that one 12-0. October 7th, they played the St. Louis All-Stars. That one ended in a 0-0 tie. All right. October 14th was against the Chicago Bears. They lost that game 3-0. And then October 21st, the Milwaukee Badgers. Imagine a time where Milwaukee and Green Bay both had professional teams. That's really
Crazy.
So they beat the Milwaukee Badgers 12-0. They played the Racine Legion. They lost that 24-3. And if you guys are wondering, man, that's kind of a butt kick in there. I specifically remember this game. There was controversy. I wasn't alive then. Don't tell me the wrong way. I remember reading about this game, and there was controversy with the officiating. And on top of that, the Packers, if I remember correctly, had to try to get fans to help them get rides to Racine to actually play in the game.
Yeah.
Everybody was –
That must have been like a 12-hour drive back then.
Everybody was broker than a fan back then, man. No doubt about it. So November 4th at the St. Louis All-Stars, they won that game 3-0. Then they played
at Sportsman's Park. That's a legendary baseball stadium there in St. Louis.
And I was wrong. So the October 28th game was the game at home against Racine, and that was the controversy around the officiating. And then it was they traveled to Racine. That's the game I believe they had to get help with travel. They win that game on the road 16-0. November 18th, back at the Milwaukee Badgers again. They win that game 10-7. November 25th, they played the Duluth Kellys, won that game 10-0. And then November 29th, week 10, the final game of the season, they played the Hammond Pros and won that game 19-0. That defense playing pretty solid, wasn't it?
See, we're pitching shutouts whenever we can. See?
What, Jake?
Is that Hammond like on the like Hammond is like 10 miles away from me? Is that really?
I'm sure it is. Yeah,
that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's cool to go back in time, man. Look at Curly Lambeau out there, son, throwing that grapefruit around, that watermelon around. That's not grapefruit. What am I talking about? So the standings, the Canton Bulldogs ended up winning the NFL that year. They went 11-0-1. The Chicago Bears finished second at 9-2-1, and then the Packers finished third at 7-2-1 with the Milwaukee Badgers right behind them at 7-2-3. Really, really cool. You see the Chicago Cardinals down there. The Chicago had 2 teams at the time. Chicago Cardinals finished 8-4. To the best of my knowledge, the Chicago Cardinals is the same franchise that today is represented by the Arizona Cardinals. They just moved to Arizona. So really, really cool.
Why? It looks like some teams only played like 7 games and some played 11.
Bro, I can only imagine, man. Because it's probably can you guys get together and play a game?
Yeah.
It's a championship. So it's a lot of fun looking back on this stuff. Here's the roster. You ready for this? I don't think y'all ready for this, boys. Linemen. Look how many linemen there were. There were just linemen and backs. Yeah. You've got Cub, but you know what? I need one of you two guys to read this entire roster in the Buckets Goldenberg voice. I don't care who does it. Maybe Tim. Why don't you take Tim? You take the lineman, and Jacob, you take the backs. Let's do it.
Starting on the line, we got Cub Buck, Jug Earp, Milton Moose Gardner, Jack Dolly Gray. The Dollies really love Jack. We got Norbert Hayes, Wes Leeper, Dewey Lyle, Jab Murray, Wally Neiman, Vincent the Cowboy Wheeler, and Whitey Wooden.
Jacob, you got your work cut out for you, man.
That's pretty good. And rounding out the backs, it's Mert Bassing. Coming in next is Patrick the Buck Gavin. Harold Hansen's coming in after that, followed by your favorite Curly Lambeau. Charlie Mathis is coming in, followed by Stan Mills.
All right, so that was your 1923 roster. Let's talk about some of the stuff that actually matters, as we've completely disrespected this historic team in Packer history, right? So one of the things that made the 1923 Green Bay Packers so important was the stock. It was the very first stock drive, right? And you won't hear anything about the fan that fell, but there was a fan that actually had a slip and fall, right? And he was suing the team. And many people said he was drunk. He was on the old sauce at the stadium.
He was drunk. I'll guarantee you that.
If it was in Wisconsin, he was drunk. So that slip and fall lawsuit is what forced the Packers to try to raise funds, right? That was really what sparked it. But all this came from the Packers website. Let's kind of go through it. So the NFL transferred the franchise into the name of the company, still in the making, the Green Bay Football Corporation. Door-to-door sales, all right? Door-to-door sales were launched on August 18th, 1923 to raise money for the team. Shares were sold for $5 each. There were 1,109 shares sold to 204 different shareholders, keeping the Packers alive, right? So the Green Bay Packers
$5 each in 1923, the equivalent of $550,000.
The Green Bay Packers conducted their first stock sale in 1923 because the team was facing severe financial difficulties and needed to raise funds to avoid folding. Founded in 1919, the Packers had been struggling with debts and operational costs, exacerbated. Makes me think of, never mind. By the loss of their sponsor, the Acme Packing Company. You guys know for a short time they were known as the Acme Packers, right? So they lost that sponsorship and poor attendance. So they were just in the tank, right?
Yeah, Acme Packing Company was the originator, right? That's really convinced them to give us some footballs and some shirts.
I think it was originally called the Indian Meat Packing Company. Yeah. And I know people are going to, he said Indian. Listen, buddy, got Cherokee in me. I think I'm allowed to say it. Calm down. I'm sure you're pasty white and saying I'm not allowed to use the term Indian. Get over yourself, okay? But so it was the Indian Meat Packing Company, and I think they may have sold out to the Acme Packing Company.
Got it.
Is what that was. All right. So to resolve this, the team founder, Curly Lambeau, organized the sale of 1,000 shares at $5 each, incorporating the team as a nonprofit, publicly owned corporation called the Green Bay Football Corporation. This move raised about $5,000, stabilized the franchise, and established its unique community-owned structure and persists today. There's one of the original stock slips that was auctioned off, and I want to say, I could be wrong, you guys fact check me, I think the number I seen was $45,000 is what it auctioned off for here recently, like I think in 2019. So let's talk about where they play football at. Bellevue Park. Packers to play at Bellevue Park. Bellevue Park, whose seating capacity was increased to around 3,000 and later 4,000, was home to the Packers during the 23-24 season. Look at that group right there, Jacob. How many of your relatives are in that crowd right there just raising absolute hell in the pregame? That's what I need to know.
There's a good chance that honestly some of them were for sure. That's honestly insane. Miss Green, real quick, dropped a really cool stat in here. She said $5 in 1923 was the equivalent purchase power today of about $94.
Wow, so that's awesome. Really
gotta love the missus correcting me for my over exaggeration.
That's how it works, Tim.
I say it all the time, Tim. I'm wrong all the time. You don't believe me? Ask my
every
wife.
Single day. Every single day.
Respect Orange has brought up a great little fun fact. He says, wasn't that during Prohibition? And it is true that Prohibition started on January 17th, 1920 to December 5th, 1933.
Yeah,
but that didn't affect
anyway. It didn't
I was
matter.
going to say that didn't matter there, Respect Oranges. And
hey, quick story on that, Jacob, not to cut you off. Guys, go watch the Packers documentary, the Legacy documentary. There's a part on there where they talk about how the reason the mob never got a foothold in Green Bay is because Green Bay didn't need the mob for illegal booze, right? They were down the road. I want to say they had a pretty good foothold in Peoria, I believe, right? Peoria, Illinois, and obviously some of the larger cities. But they said alcohol was already here. Illegal alcohol was already here, meaning in Green Bay. They actually set up a bust. There was a house, and I can't remember how many tens of thousands of gallons of illegal alcohol was being ran out of this house in downtown Green Bay, right? Yeah. So they decide, Feds are coming up. They're going to bust this whole operation, right? So when they called up, right, and back in the old days, you know, they had to punch them through, right? The old, whatever, the switchboard. They called up and said, hey, let the local law enforcement know. They got on line with them. People were listening in on the line. The feds are coming up. They're going to do this big bust. By the time they got to Green Bay from Milwaukee, the feds, they said the house was completely empty of all alcohol, right? Never arrested a person. Well, I take that back. One person was arrested after it was all said and done. It was the federal agent that went up to bust them. He ended up doing time for trying to bust them, and they smuggled every bit of it out of the house. So, again, yeah, that was a cool little story. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Call out the switchboard. The fuzz is coming. Johnny Law's coming.
Exactly. Did you have anything else you were saying there, Jacob? I'm sorry, man. I just had to
no, well, I just know because personally, my great grandfather ran illegal hooch and moonshine from Stillwater over to Menominee area and then over to Milwaukee area. It's really cool.
Yeah. We had, obviously Irish family here, right? That settled into Harlan County, Kentucky, and bled over into Laurel County, Kentucky, and other parts of the southeastern part of the state of Kentucky at the time. And same thing. We ran whiskey like crazy. I'm telling you, man, there wasn't many men in my family that made it past the age of 50. Everybody, I mean, you go back in town or you go back in time and look at the death certificates, it's gunshot wound. So, it's wild how we found each other, Jacob. Funny how that works, man. But this is cool. This is what I was talking about. Drivers needed. They must have an enclosed car and meet at the Elks Club. Volunteers were asked to drive players to a game in Racine. This way, the players were able to make the trip together in a caravan the day before the game. All right, Green Bay Packers
must
football.
Have an enclosed car. That was
what's an enclosed car?
That means a car with some doors and a roof.
That's exactly what that
maybe
means.
A windshield.
How many people were running around Green Bay with it 13 below zero, and they literally didn't have a windshield? You know what I mean? It's just, I just got to run over here to the hooch house and get some whiskey. I'll be right back. It'll be fine. Unbelievable. So the Green Bay Packers football men will no longer shiver on the benches. Check this out. As the Packers prepared for a cold road game, the auxiliary to the Catholic Women's Club of Green Bay launched a fundraising campaign to buy blankets for the players to use on the sideline. How about the Catholic Women's Club coming through in the clutch and go, can we get these boys some covers for the damn bench? Their teeth are chattering over there, right?
Whatever teeth they had left, right? And they were chattering around.
Within a week, they raised enough money to purchase royal blue blankets bound and lettered in gold to give to the players. So they actually had it candied up already. All right. So then you had the largest crowd at Bellevue Park of 4,451 fans. The Chicago Bears traveled to Green Bay for the first time to take on the Packers on October 14th, 2023. Another note here. Looks like it was a quote by Curly Lambeau. Not 2, 3, or 4 people were responsible for keeping the Packers alive in Green Bay. The people, the fans of Green Bay, did it down through the years. So
tell him, Earl Curly Lambeau. You tell him. That quote is still true to this day. I love it.
If you guys have not read the book, Lambeau, the Man Behind the Mystique, I know Tim's got it. We talked about it over and over. It is unbelievable. If you want to know, look at Tim. There it is. Bang. Go get that book. Search Lambeau, the Man Behind the Mystique. And I'm telling you, now, if you don't read well like me, like I don't read well, there's not a lot of pictures in it, okay? You're going to be disappointed there. But I'm telling you, that book tells you everything you need to know about Lambeau. Good, bad, indifferent, right, Tim? It's just a great book. So make sure you check it out. Now, go ahead, Jacob. What do you got?
Not that
He's laughing at
Afam just showed up out of nowhere.
in the comments.
Never mind. I see it. There you go. All right, so inspiration for the 2025 throwback. We showed you the uniform earlier, right? Take a look at them helmets, boys. By the way, I tried to get a mini helmet earlier today.
Good luck with that.
Less than $90. I said, that's a steal. Give me that. On back order till December 31st. So
the mini helmets are $90,
and it's on back order till December 31st.
You can get a full size one for like $2,000 if you really want it.
And that's actually the ones that are airbrushed, right? Now they're saying there's going to be decal ones that are going to be cheaper, but they're going to go quick too, right, Tim?
Oh yeah, for sure. They'll probably sell out.
I will have one of these. It just might be for my 60th birthday by the time they come available. I will.
She will be mine. Oh yes, she will be
She
mine.
will be mine. So look at X sporting the uni there, and notice the stripes on the sleeves. That's what I was talking about. If we go back up, that's kind of paying homage to the stripes they put on those sleeves. Look at my man right there trying to flex that bicep.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
trying to get a little extra.
Oh yeah.
While
See the
sucking
logo.
in that belly, he's sucking that belly in and doing a flex.
Yeah, I don't feel like this guy had anything to do with the team. I think he might have robbed a bank and just slipped into the picture at the end. It kind of looks like right there. Old
I was with y'all the whole time, see?
Josh Jacobs looking good in that new uni as well. Look at J Love was.
Yeah.
That helmet's sick, man. That helmet is just. I heard somebody the other day. Listen, I love Brian Bulaga. I got all the respect in the world for Brian Bulaga. He's like one of my favorite Packers of all times, right? He always played the game the right way. He never took himself too serious. He's talking about the uni the other day, and he said, I love the uniform. I just hate the helmets. Looks weird. I don't like it. I'm like, Bulaga, how you going to break my damn heart like that? How do you not like that helmet? That helmet is sick.
That's odd because Bulaga looks like he should have been in the 1920s.
He looks like Bucket Goldenberg.
He looks, exactly.
He looks like Bucket Goldenberg.
All right, moving along. Why did Curly Lambeau choose blue and gold? The Green Bay Packers originally wore blue and gold uniforms because the team's founder, Curly Lambeau, was a Notre Dame alumnus playing for legendary head coach Knute Rockne. When Lambeau returned to Green Bay and created the team, he adopted the school's colors of navy, blue, and gold for the Packers. It was a common practice in the early days of the NFL, with coaches often drawing inspiration from their own alma maters when designing their team's colors and uniforms. You see here, this is Curly Lambeau as a freshman playing for Knute Rockne. You know, you guys probably know the story. What happened was he and you see right here, win one for the Gipper. That's the Gip right there. You ever heard that story? If you haven't heard it, go look it up. I'm sure you'll find a YouTube video on it as well. That's the Gipper right next to Curly. So Curly ended up getting strep throat and had to drop out and move back. He got like deathly. Back then, it was strep will kill you, you know, before the, modern medicine.
Stepped on a nail, you were dead.
Yeah, exactly. So
cut it off.
He got so sick and he ended up moving back home. So he only played for Knute Rockne for 1 year, but his inspiration also was the reason the Packers came out humming that tater around the stadium there, throwing the football more than most people did, right? Because that's what Knute Rockne liked to do as well with the old box offense and all that. So Curly returns back to Green Bay and starts the Packers. I just wanted to throw that in there. I thought that was really cool. That's why they chose the blue and gold colors, because that was Curly's, colors at Notre Dame. And just full disclosure here, you guys know I grew up in Kentucky, a Kentucky football fan. I also root for the UT Vols because I live in Tennessee, have since 2000. But the reason I'm a Notre Dame fan as well is this right here, the historic ties of the Green Bay Packers. It's like if you don't have a college team and you want to get into college football, start studying up on the history of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and you've already got so many ties of Notre Dame to Green Bay. It's really cool. Tim, what do you got down there, man? Looks like you got something ready to show.
Oh, it's interesting that Brian Bulaga didn't like these uniforms. He had to wear this iteration of the uniform, and I think we would all agree that clearly the new 1923 concept is definitely better, right?
Yeah, and I actually liked these unis when they wore them.
I did too.
But you're
but
right.
The helmet, though, we're talking about the helmet.
Oh, yeah.
He said he didn't like the helmet.
Yeah.
So let's look at the helmet. What do you guys think? I'll take the new helmet over this one.
I like the new helmet. That looks like just a duty helmet. I'll be honest.
Yeah, like look at the difference here. Seriously,
Got
it's not even comparable. You're right. And Tim, I don't know what he's doing right there, man. But my man
he was moonlighting as an umpire during the offseason, and he's calling safe. He's safe.
Now he did talk about these uniforms specifically. And this kind of ticked me off, not at Bulaga, but at the team a little bit. He said those pants were extra stretchy, like Nacho Libre, my stretchy pants, right? So he said they were extra stretchy. He was like the most comfortable pants they'd ever worn. They went to the team because Jason Wilde asked them, well, like, did y'all wear them after that? He's like, they wouldn't let us. We couldn't. They went to the team and was like, can we wear those type of pants the rest of the year, like where they're kind of that stretchy material? And they said, nope, can't do it. Sorry. Which is really odd, but they said those pants were like Chancho's sweats. And Nacho
Look at his right knee pad is on his inner thigh, so they must be pretty stretchy. You see that?
I see that. Yeah. Sometimes when you're in your room, you wear stretchy pants. It's for fun. So there you go. There is a rundown on why the Packers chose those uniforms, and I'm telling you, gents, I'm excited about it, man. That game. Do we know what game they're going to be wearing it?
We do not. We haven't heard anything official. At least I haven't. But I'm going to be honest. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be wearing their throwbacks. I've got this sneaking suspicion in my heart of hearts that we will be wearing these on the road in Week 8 in Pittsburgh.
Which means the coaching staff would have all the throwback stuff on as well, right? Like it was.
Now that's a guess. Don't quote me on that. That's a total speculation.
No, I'm with you, Tim. That's the first thing I thought too. As soon as the Steelers announced they're wearing their throwbacks against the Packers, it's like that would be a real missed opportunity right there, man. They didn't
for sure. And if it's anything like they did with the 50s throwback, and they went over real well, they wore them again for another game. So if we wear them on the road once this year, I got a feeling that they might wear them
do at home.
Yeah, we'll do one at Lambeau, I would think for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything we missed tonight, guys? Anything at all that you could think of we should have covered? I know we went through a lot of information. I tried to get all that out tonight. That way tomorrow when we go live, because we got a training camp practice tomorrow, right, Tim? Am I thinking right?
Sir. 10:30 a.m.
Now, I want to say this, and I'm just kind of taking Easton Butler's word for it, and he wouldn't mention what player told him, but originally this was supposed to be a full padded practice, right? He said that a player told him that it's not going to be a padded practice. That's not coming till Monday. So they must have pushed it back. We'll find out if that's true or not. And that's not a knock on him. Don't go hounding him if it is incorrect. He's just relaying the information he heard from a player. And I'm glad he didn't mention the player too. But nonetheless, we will have a practice tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. The plan is for us to go live during that practice. So what we may do is shoot for 11 a.m. Central Time. That way the practice kind of gets well underway past stretches. We'll get you guys up to date in real time what's going on. So make sure you hop in here if you ain't got nothing going on a Sunday morning, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk camp updates. Jacob, you got anything else tonight, man? Anything you wanted to hit on or maybe something we might have missed?
I got tons of stuff I want to hit on, but I'll stick it to the Packers.
They're not in here right now, though, are they?
Nah, they already went to bed. I'm going to have to – I was wondering if I could maybe just shout out the PTA Superflex Fantasy League.
Yes, please. Do it, man.
So just real quick, guys, we have 9 confirmed teams, including myself. We've got the OGs coming back in here. We've got Jake, Air Raid Chris, BTA, Chris's Rush Hour, United Bates, Climb Up Mike, Locked In Dane, Hunka Burnin' Love. So we've only got basically another, what did you say, Clayton? Sunday night at midnight. We're going to open it up to the public. First come, first serve.
Yeah, to the Patreon group. To the Patreon group,
I should say. So yeah, there we go. Jake's in the chat right here. Let's see that right there. So we're going to try to, get the old guys, the old team, give you guys the first chance to get back into this league. It's going to be very, very fun. We right now have 5 slots open. So if those are left unopened or unfilled, then all of a sudden, I know that I've got Elijah Gwynn, I believe, was in the Patreon chat asking to get in. So
yep.
I would maybe start making requests. Like I said, we're going to leave it until Sunday night, midnight, before we start taking anybody that wasn't in the previous year's teams. But it's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be very, very fun.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now in the chat in there, Jacob. If you guys are wondering what chat, you get access to all our chats over in our Patreon group as well. It's really, really cool in there. I'm going to put Fantasy Overflow, okay? That sounds like a bad movie, don't it?
Yeah.
So Cody Davis definitely asked to get in, right? So I'm just going to send that. You copy, paste anybody else that mentioned that they wanted to get in, Jacob. And again, just know, guys, that if you're on that overflow list, you're next in line, but they got till midnight tomorrow night, okay, for anyone who was in the league last year to join. We want to give them first dibs. And if we need a second league, we will, but it's looking like we might just add a couple of newcomers in there and keep it moving. Thank you for bringing that up, Jacob. I would have forgotten that. So,
sure.
Tim, you got anything else, Bob?
Ready for practice tomorrow, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Are you going over?
You know I am.
Heck yeah. Jacob, are you available for the live stream tomorrow, sir, or no?
What time are we thinking?
Probably around 11 Central.
Sure, I can do it. Yep.
Cool. So me and Jacob will be live in studio. Tim will be boots on the ground over there. If he gets a chance to hop on, you can, Tim. But we're going to be looking for your tweets. We'll have what we do on these live streams for camp, guys. I'll have multiple Twitter accounts, X accounts pulled up in separate windows here on the NASA computer. and we'll be ready to go to each tweet as they come in. So Tim will be one of them that we'll be highlighting tomorrow as well. So we'll just be getting pictures, video, and just talking Packers camp. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you jump in here tomorrow for that live stream. It's going to be a crap show. It always is, right, Jacob? We do something live, but we're going to have fun while we do it. So
absolutely, can't wait.
Do we get a special request? I seen the Crappers Full comment there. Let me get my.
Oh no,
where'd he go? Talk amongst yourselves for me.
I guess make sure you like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content.
Yeah. One thing too.
Clayton gets his National Lampoon's hat on real quick.
They're about to unsub right now. You ready for this? Got that Cousin Eddie look. You know what I'm saying?
You just need a stogie, man. You need a stogie and a bathrobe, and you're in there.
It's a baby, see? Yeah. It's a baby. Yeah.
Can't smoke anywhere nowadays.
Well, we need somebody. You know how we do the splat on the film breakdown where we screenshot it, throw the red arrows. You guys tag me in a tweet. Give me the Cousin Eddie tag right here, okay? Screenshot it, throw it on Twitter. I'll try to ignore it and block you, okay? That's what we're doing. All right. We're out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, man. We had a big group in here tonight. You guys are awesome. Just on a random Saturday on July 26th where there wasn't even practice today. We just had a full house. This was a lot of fun. Jake G126 with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He said that hat is worth the tip, Roger. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. If Mandy's watching downstairs, she's going to go, yeah, I agree. So we better get something out of it. My husband up there making an ass out of himself live on TV.
You think God never farted?
Alfred E. Newman. Is that the dude from the Mad magazine? Am I thinking
yes.
right?
Yeah.
I do kind of look like him when I pull the ears out. Got it. All right. 2-0 for this. Just the tip, though. All right. Appreciate y'all. Let's get out of here. Again, thank you, Jake, for that super chat, that tip on the way out. Also, shout out to Celestial Prophet 20 for becoming a member here on YouTube. We'll see y'all on the Patreon group. Hit us up over there. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go, Pack, go.
Here we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.